The Paleoart! The badness! Can't control anymore! Part 6! It must be discussed! Well, this one isn't the worst I've ever seen, though it is wrong, but it's not so wrong that it's unrecognizable. To begin with, oh my goodness, do I have to start a counter for how many times we've seen erupting volcanoes in the background of these art pieces? Not every area of the Earth was covered in constantly erupting volcanoes. I know they're nice backdrops, but stop it. As for the, I'm not entirely sure what this, particular sauropod is supposed to be. I'm gonna guess maybe a Apatosaurus, or maybe at the time they would have called it Brontosaurus, maybe even Diplodocus. In any event, it's not right. For one thing, the musculature on the legs really bothers me. It looks almost humanoid, very, very buff, ripped. Grr. And he's dragging his tail, which is no, that they would not have done that. And the neck is long and appropriate, and the head doesn't look too bad. But the way the neck is attached to the body is much too low, with their backs arched up so high. They would have been much more level in the grand scheme of things. It's a very old school rendition, but like I said, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. So we'll give it a solid 4 out of 10, you know. At least it's going off of what paleontologists would have thought at the time this was drawn, as I believe this is a fairly old, like 1960s, 70s piece of art. Oh. Okay. I want you to take a wild guess what this is supposed to be. Maybe Pachycephalosaurus, given that dome on it? Or perhaps even a Stiggy. I love Stiggies. Nope. Nope. This is a Megalosaurus? Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with how wrong this is. It's almost impressively wrong, actually. This is quite a bit worse than the last one. For one thing, the dome round structure on the head, that's what it makes it looks like a Pachycephalosaurus, but it's not. I don't know why they drew it that way, and those menacing eyes. Scary. The body looks okay. I wouldn't say that's necessarily terrible, it's just the head that's throwing me off, and I adore the description. The sharp crocodile-type teeth. I wouldn't say they were crocodile-like, but they were sharp, so okay. Scientists think it lived on mountains, like goats and sheep. Where did you even pull that? On what planet are you living where you thought that the Middle Jurassic Megalosaurus lived on mountains like goats and sheep? Poor Megalosaurus has had a ton of really bad reconstructions over the years. This is just another drop in the bucket as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why this poor dinosaur keeps getting so badly misinterpreted. But I guess it's better than the quadruped version. Of course, that's also a really low bar. Oh! Wow! Wow! I'm so glad it's labeled. This is supposed to be an Allosaurus. Really? Really, is it? Interesting! Okay, this upright stance is one of the worst I've ever seen. He almost looks like he's standing like a human, or if he's doing the Michael Jackson moonwalk, maybe. It definitely got the tripod with the tail on the ground, and those arms, way too long. Yeah, very grabby hands, stalker vibes getting from him. The face is, well, it's not the worst. It's still wrong, and goodness, his torso's so skinny. He's emaciated, except his ridiculously buff legs. Ugh. In fact, if you just, left the leg on its own, that wouldn't be the worst I've ever seen. The leg is actually fairly accurate. It's everything else attached to the leg that I'm like, why? What? No. Stop. But I appreciate the artists for restraining themselves and only drawing foliage in the background. There are no erupting volcanoes to be seen, and with this quality art, I really expected that to be thrown in for good measure, but no, they stopped. They quit while they weren't ahead, but they quit, so, fair. Wait a minute. That's not... Why does this keep happening? How many dinosaurs that absolutely couldn't fly were thought to have flown? Why do people keep thinking this is possible? And this is supposed to be an ankylosaur? An ankylosaur. Nature's walking tank. Oh, but they could glide with folds between their arms and legs, like a flying squirrel. Really? You think that's physically possible? They wouldn't have just dropped like a stone. Yeah, okay, this is absurd. But what's even more absurd is that this is wrong in more than just this way. I mean, the notion that an ankylosaur could fly is, of course, ridiculously wrong. But how about the fact that this is labeled as an Allosaurus? Which is funny, because an Allosaurus is a titanosaur, a sauropod. It lived in the late Cretaceous period. Everything about this is wrong. Like, this is the most inaccurate thing I think I've ever seen. And this entire series has been about woeful scientific inaccuracies. But goodness, this is just a mismatch of all things that could possibly be called incorrect. It's ridiculous. And I'm so focused on this that I haven't focused on this, which, that's just a dragon. As far as I'm concerned, which is actually highly accurate and hysterical because Rhedosaurus, not a thing in terms of actual paleontological history. You know what a Rhedosaurus is? That's the beast from 20,000 fathoms. That's literally what it's called. They put a fictional dinosaur in an actual book about actual dinosaurs, or supposed to be about actual dinosaurs. This is absurd. But there's actually a very logical explanation for this. Now, I am making fun of both of these things because it's ridiculous. But in context, it actually makes sense, if you can believe it or not. See, this is just a clip from the whole page of the book. And this page of the book was a true or false type quiz for children. Both the flying ankylosaur with the wrong name, as well as the beast from 20,000 fathoms over here, are supposed to be false answers. They're supposed to be fake to teach kids how to tell the real dinosaurs from wrong ones. Now, there are some reconstruction errors on the page, like Spinosaurus looks a bit off, but overall it's actually a lot more accurate to paleontological record at the time this book was actually published. So in that way, in context, I actually don't hate this, because it was done to teach children how to identify ridiculous nonsense compared to actual paleontological record. But I had you going there for a second, didn't I? I had you going. I had you thinking somebody actually thought this, but nope, these are supposed to be wrong answers on a true or false quiz. And the book, by the way, is called Be a Dinosaur Detective. It was published in 1988, but it's still available on Amazon if you want it. Like I said, it's pretty outdated, because 1988, but not because of anything too crazy. What? Why? I don't... Hey, there's no volcanoes here either. Good. The Triceratops in the background looks really good, by the way. I actually really like that design there. Stegosaurus is in the wrong time period, and I guess this is supposed to be a T-Rex with too many fingers. But I think the fingers are the least of this animal's concerns because clearly its spine is broken, destroyed. It basically doesn't even have a torso. Why are its legs, like, so far out? And who drew this and thought that this was okay? I almost want to say that this can't actually be what someone thought it looked like, just that this is a hilariously bad, lazy piece of artwork. Less actual speculation, because this is clearly... I mean, its legs are like jutting out from the front, and it's... What kind of monstrosity is... Everything is wrong here! Also, I think it has too many teeth. Yeah, the teeth are wrong. Yeah, I'm focusing on little stuff to take my mind away from the just level of alien-esque madness we got going on here. I mean, this is objectively horrifying. Like a bad genetic clone or something. Like, this is actually one of the failures that Dr. Wu made when he was trying to make the Indominus Rex, you know? Like, that's kind of what we're dealing with here, because this animal would be in constant agony and would not at all be able to function in any way. I can't even tell how it's standing up. The balance here makes no logical sense. Unless the artist is suggesting that it uses its tail as a third leg? Which, the tripod balancing act aside, that isn't even what paleontologists really thought. Let's focus on the trike. It looks very nice. The trike, it looks very, very nice. That's a nice Triceratops. Yes. If we ignore everything else, that's a nice Triceratops. Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.